I represent myself. I'm the president of Netzwerk Cuba Informationsbüro, a network organization of about 40 groups of solidarity with Cuba in Germany and many individuals, founded in 1992. I think all of you heard of the military base Guantanamo, which is situated in the east of the Antillean island of Cuba. The beginning of this base was a contract between the quasi-post-colonial Cuban government and the United States of America from 1903, which became in 1934 validity without time limit. After the successful Cuban Revolution, the new government didn't accept this contract because its origin was a result of pressure. They never accepted the lease of $2,000 per year paid by the US government. Since 2002, the Guantanamo Bay naval base is used as a prisoners' camp without civilian jurisdiction and legal protection. It became well known for its methods of torture. Since 1959, the Cuban revolutionary government demands a return of this territory, which is nowadays completely independent from Cuba under the aspect of providing their schools, hospitals, drinking water, and so on. Naturally, the return of the naval base to Cuba played an important role in the negotiations of Barack Obama with Raúl Castro since 2014. The fight for the return of the military base is part of the struggle against imperialist aggression of the USA. But we all know the changement of the political international situation since Donald Trump is president of the United States, whose politics are marked by a high aggression, especially against Cuba. Wide open, the US government reactivates the Monroe Doctrine from 1823, which legitimates the US expansion and invasions in Middle and South America. Therefore, the main policy of the Cuban government is the empowerment of the states of our America for a sovereign policy against the imperial neighbor, with strengthens of existing regional treaties like ALBA TCP, Alianza Bolivariana por los Pueblos de Nuestra Tratado de Comercio de los Pueblos, UNASUR, Unión de Naciones Suramericanas, CELAC, Comunidad de Estados Latinoamericanos y Caribeños, who declared in 2012 Latin America and the Caribbean as a zone of peace and other treaties. An important role plays also the solidarity among the progressive governments and movements of the American continent. And Cuba takes always an active part during the Foro Sao Paulo, the organization of the left social movements of Latin America and the Caribbean and other regions of the world. The United Nations are always a platform for the Cuban government in questions like peace, disarmament, and peaceful regulation of conflicts in respect of the sovereignty of the people. Movement for peace is deeply founded in the Cuban people, and each year they organize an international conference on Guantanamo. But in the present situation, the most important aim is to survive the consequences of the corona pandemic, the breakdown of the international economy and trade, the stop of tourism, and therefore the lack of foreign exchange for the needs of the population and the production as well as for transports. Exactly in this situation, the government, through Trump, is continuously aggravating the longest blockade ever, 60 years, to smother the Cuban economy and society. The Cuban people suffers in its all-day life, a little bit comparable to the special period of the 90s. Even the supply with medical instruments and medicine is blocked. What we do in Germany? First of all, continue with the material, financial, and political solidarity with Cuba. This means to inform the public about the Cuban reality against the disinformation of the mainstream media, to influence the German governments and parliament as well as the European institutions to change their policy in direction of real acts against the US blockade and to intensify a policy of economic and political cooperation. But we have to do our homework in our country, which belongs itself to the imperialist states. And that means to take part in the progressive movements in social questions against the climate change, for ecological themes, and last but not least in the movements for peace and disarmament. Therefore, we are planning an event, a conference on the theme of humanitarian processes and peace in Latin America, in common with the Rammstein campaign and the Cuban embassy in Berlin for the end of this year. It's important to inform the public about the strength of the US-American military power in the world, and especially in Latin America, which is not only a threatening of peace, very often it already was used to influence violently internal policy of sovereign states. For that, we often show a map with all the military bases, also mobile, especially in that region during our public activities. So far from Germany, with a special regard at the Cuban situation and the naval base of Guantanamo. Thanks for your attention.
Yes, thank you very much.